And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. It's time to talk golf now, and in studio with me, two-time national tournament qualifier, Bre Nowak. Thanks for joining me today, Bre.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I mentioned you get to go again. You went your freshman year. Last year you didn't make it, but back this year, how's it feel?
It feels great, honestly. It's kind of a letdown from last year, so this year's feels really good.
All right, well, like we talked about before we went on the air, at least that gave you something to work for this year, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit more fire, I guess, to get better, but yeah, it's great feeling to be back in this position.
Sure. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the conference meet. How did that go?
It was pretty brutal, honestly. It was very cold. It was snowing on us the first day. We got pulled off because we couldn't even see down the fairway. If you were to hit a ball, you would have no idea where it was, or couldn't even find it because there was so much snow on the ground. But finally got 18 holes in, and so we shortened it from 27, but got 18 holes in. And the next day was very cold as well, but no snow, so we were sent off and got another 18 holes in. So we got the tournament to at least count with 36 holes. And I didn't perform maybe as well as I wanted to, but in terms of the conditions and everything we had to deal with, it ended up being a good enough score to put me through. So.
Good deal. So you talked about the weather a little bit there, and just like we talked about for track and field, the weather conditions this spring, not the most pleasant at all. How was the weather for you guys this spring?
Yeah, it has been very back and forth. I know in the beginning we didn't get out at all. We were indoors for a large majority of our practices, and then had a few days where it spoiled us. It was really nice. We would go out, and then just went back to being super cold. And if it wasn't cold, it was raining, and if it wasn't raining, it was super cold. So,
right.
But those practices outside and those conditions probably helped us a lot for conference as well too. Just maybe getting a little bit more accustomed or how our game and our ball flight's going to react in those type of conditions definitely helped us at conference. So.
Sure. Well, talk about the playoff that determined medalist. From what I understand, it was kind of a scramble. How did that whole process work?
Yeah, so I believe it started in 17th hole. That's where we evened up, and then 18, going into 18, had 2 putts to win. Couldn't get it done, but then we went up to the playoff, and yeah, luckily this time we kind of had an idea. Kyle had mentioned to me that we were tied and that we'd probably end up going to a playoff, so I just went straight to the range because I didn't like the way I finished up, so I wanted to kind of get that taste out of my mouth. And so we went to the range and then head off to the first hole, tied the first hole, went to the second hole, and ended up getting the job done in that hole. So
there you go. All right, well, go ahead and recap the spring season for us for the team as a whole first, and then we'll talk about you.
As a team, it was, I think, pretty up and down. I guess we struggled with putting a full team performance together. We've had a few girls go really low and play really well for themselves, and then we couldn't get kind of the well-rounded aspect. But I think a lot of people struggled this year, a lot of teams, probably due to the conditions that we've had and like our practice conditions and stuff. But it's still promising to see that a lot of girls did improve or did play well in some tournaments. We just have to focus on coming together as a team and putting together 5 solid performances instead of maybe just a couple each time.
What do you think it's going to take to get to that well-rounded aspect that you as the leader of the team would like to see?
I think we're definitely headed in the right direction. We're building confidence. I think that's a key. We have quite a bit of freshmen that are going to be sophomores next year, and even from the beginning of the year to this conference tournament, they've gained so much confidence, and so they improved their abilities so much that I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can produce next year. And we have a couple girls coming in that are really good too as well, so I'm hoping that will help boost us up and really help us put together solid performances next year.
All right, well, there's a full month between the conference meet and the national tournament. What's practice like for you right now, and what are you doing in preparation for a few weeks from now?
Honestly, it's a little bit more individualized because it is just me, but I'll head out for a couple hours each day and focus on things that didn't work well at conference or haven't been working well, I guess, and a lot of that's just putting. I really need to get better on the greens and around the greens. So that's kind of been my focus, and then I'll just try to maintain my other strengths, my full swing, and also trying to develop a little better decision making as well. I'd probably go with riskier decisions than I should at some point, and I think at conference I definitely showed that kind of slow and steady definitely wins the race. You don't have to pin seek everywhere, and bring yourself in positions that you don't want to be in. So definitely learning about that as well.
Well, think back to 2 years ago at Nationals. Weather was a little bit of an issue there. Rained a lot, if you recall. But what was that experience like for you then, and how do you think that's going to benefit you this time around?
That was great. Honestly, I think going into it, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence being a freshman and running into girls that had been there 3 or 4 years, and but I think being there really helped build confidence. I know that since I'm there before, that I can perform just as well as these other girls, especially coming back my second time. So I think I'll be a little bit more relaxed. There's no way to hop on that tee completely relaxed, but have a little bit more confidence in my ability and be able to perform a little bit better off the start.
So you think that previous experience will be beneficial to you this time? Then?
For sure. I think it's helped me ever since then. Even regular season, it was a great opportunity and a great experience, and I really enjoyed it.
All right. What are some of your goals for the national tournament?
My goal is to definitely have fun. I want to have fun when I go down there, and I think that goes along with playing well. I always play better when stress-free, having fun, and just relaxing. So especially this being the last tournament, I guess there's no real pressure because you know this is it, and I'm just hopefully see how that kind of see what kind of results come from that type of mindset. So.
Right. Well, golf is such a mental challenging game because, like you said, if you do start having a bad game, it makes it a little bit frustrating and takes some of the fun out of it. But for you, what's kind of, I guess, the coping mechanism to, get past that and get back into the right frame of mind?
Yeah, it's definitely always a work in progress, but
sure.
I guess I'd like to always think back on situations where I've maybe played really bad and then came back. And I know it's always possible. You always, you see people make crazy mistakes on tour and then come back and go really low. So there's never an opportunity where you're fully out of a golf tournament. And I think that even happened at conference. I think at one point I was down 4 or 6 strokes at some point. And granted, I didn't really know that at the time.
Sure.
But it's good to know that you can just come back and draw on those past experiences. And it's always great to see your teammates around the golf course too, because I know we're a very lighthearted team, and just looking around, waving at someone in the fairway, from your team really helps lift your spirits and kind of bring you out of focusing on negatives and bring back some positives. So.
All right. While you're gone, you'll also be celebrating a birthday, so that's going to be a nice birthday present, right?
Yep, it'll be my 21st birthday on the 24th, so yeah,
okay.
That'll be a great experience.
All right, well, happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
But you've got 1 year left, so what are your plans this summer and for next year?
This summer, after the national tournament, I'll actually be taking my MCAT,
okay.
5 days after I get back, and hopefully that goes well, and I'll send off my med school applications and hopefully hear back some promising news. But after that, I'll go home and relax finally after then, and definitely still golf. I think that'll be probably the way I relax when I go back home and
sure.
stuff. So hopefully come back and have really productive senior season, and I hope to kind of develop as a leader over that summer too, because I really want to improve that aspect of my game, because I know we have a lot of good people coming in and we have a lot of great potential, and I want to make sure that we reach that highest potential.
All right, well, anything else you'd like to add today?
No, I'm just super excited for this opportunity, and I can't wait to get down there. So.
All right, well, congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, there you have it. Bre Nowak talking about her qualifying for the NAIA Women's Golf National Tournaments and her season, as well as her future plans as a Red Wolf as well. We'll take a quick break and be back with more Inside IU East Sports after the break.